This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for Monday, February 3rd, 2025. I'm Marek Mazurek. Hoosier farmers are on edge as the avian flu continues to menace big and small flocks alike. As of Monday, the State Board of Animal Health dashboard lists avian flu outbreaks at 7 farms in the state, including Shelby, Jackson, Adams, Allen, and Jay counties. The 7 documented cases in January are more than the last 2 years combined, leading to frustration for experts as they attempt to figure out why.
We have made vast strides in having better biosecurity, doing more things to stop the spread. However, it's continuing to get into the flocks, and then we see the outcome.
That was Darren Karcher, a poultry extension specialist at Purdue University. He said scientists believe the virus is most likely spread through the droppings of infected waterfowl like geese and ducks, which then gets into the enclosures of commercial flocks. The Board of Animal Health requires daily tests for any commercial producer within 10 kilometers of an infected farm. The Morgan County Plan Commission is set to consider a rezoning request next week that could pave the way for a data center on a 390-acre tract in the northern part of the county. Acting on behalf of a developer whose identities have not been released, the Morgan County Economic Development Corporation has filed the request that's scheduled for a public hearing on February 10th. The property in question is currently zoned for agricultural and residential use. It lies in Morgan Township just east of the town of Monrovia. The EDC is requesting that the site be rezoned as a planned unit development. According to the rezoning application, the 391-acre site is made up of 18 different parcels of land currently owned by 10 different entities. County officials said the project's unnamed developer has secured purchase options with those owners and plans to acquire the land if the project moves forward. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
To succeed, you need to stay informed. You need to be engaged. And let's face it, you need to set yourself apart from the rest by connecting with a company that brings you the best. Because in today's environment, business is an ever-moving target, and we'll help you chase it. IBJ Media. The best of business is in us. Get started at ibjmedia.com/youngprofessional.
The 8 cabinet secretaries serving under Governor Mike Braun will be some of the highest paid employees in the state, with each taking home $275,000 for their new positions. 5 of the secretaries will also directly lead an agency, though all oversee several agencies under the newly crafted cabinet structure. Those salaries push total pay for Braun's top agency leaders to over $1 million more than his predecessor, former Governor Eric Holcomb. To get to that number, the Indiana Capital Chronicle included pay for 20 of the state's largest agencies, some of which retained their leadership, as well as Braun's 3 additional secretaries who have no equivalent to Holcomb's administration. Braun has painted his tenure as one of austerity, directing state agencies to trim their budgets by 5% and identify efficiencies to save taxpayer dollars. In a statement, Braun's office said the leaders are all highly qualified and have already cut, quote, wasteful spending, end quote, that exceeded their salaries. The largest festival in Fort Wayne is in danger of filing for bankruptcy if it doesn't raise enough money in the next week. Our partners at WPTA-TV report the Three Rivers Festival may be forced to shut down if organizers can't get the event back on the correct financial path. Carrie Robbie, director of operations for the festival, said a crowdfunding campaign has been launched to raise $450,000. The organization needs to raise $300,000 by next Monday to avoid bankruptcy, and the remainder would be used to start planning the 2025 festival. Robbie told WPTA the festival's challenges started more than a year ago, largely due to the relocation of Junk Food Alley due to construction in the area, and last year's event failed to live up to expectations. And Hope Family Care Center in Cicero has named a new executive director. Brian Peters replaces Michael Jenkins, who founded the nonprofit provider of free medical, dental, women's health, counseling, and related services to the uninsured, underinsured, and medically underserved patients in central Indiana. Peters has worked in healthcare for more than 30 years, Hope said in a news release, and has experience in operations and technology, including the development of home care software. He has a bachelor's degree in business administration's analysis from Taylor University and an MBA from Butler University. Fishers Mayor Scott Fadness is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC. A weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, entertainment, and beyond. Available now from your favorite podcast provider. I'm Mark Mazurek for Inside Indiana Business Radio.